It's just setting up the live. Yeah, we're back in mask.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you've even got the booster to the booster to the booster. No. You're gotten a mask on. Oh, you mean the other person's already been vaccinated 5 times and he's got to wear a mask? Oh yeah, he's got to wear a mask too. It's the mask. It's the story of the masked life.
Right?
Yeah, Robin Hood.
All right. Well, so yeah. So back here in LA, we are starting to wear masks today again.
Yeah, kind of disappointing because everybody in life, they want to see progress, like they're going from point A to point B. And think about all the things, schools, education, training. It's all about that idea that we're going from A to B. And we all thought, talking about the virus, we all thought we were going from A and we left A and now we're on B. Oh my gosh. Let's go out and flood the streets. It's going to be wonderful. Singing songs, hugging everybody. No, you're not going to be allowed to do that. Now we've got the boogeyman has come back. He's come back with another version. And all of a sudden, whether you've had 15 shots, it doesn't matter. You could show up with a whole stack of vaccinations. It doesn't matter. Get that mask on.
It's really interesting. My son is going to ASU. And it's mandatory vaccination. And my son, who's 18 years old, which is an adult, he's against it. And I told the story. He got COVID, but he recovered, thank God. But he's like, Mom, I really don't want to do it. And it's like, he's like, I feel like I'm being forced and I don't want to do it. And I said to him, as a parent, because I love my son to death, I'm like, what do you say to he's right. He's like, why do I have to? Why do I have to? And I don't know the answer to that, because I did it because I just wanted to conform, because that's my personality. Like, I don't want to cause any problems. But he had a really valid point. And he's like, Mom, in 6 months, I'm going to need another booster. And then because my daughters got vaccinated, and now it's been they already got notification that they have to have a booster in 6 months. And my son said, Mom, really think about it. Like, every 6 months we're going to get a new booster, we're going to get new injections. Like, he had a point, and I've never really thought about it, but he was really valid.
Well, you think about it, there's the Delta virus or whatever, the variant. Well, there could be the United variant and the Northwestern variant, and whatever you want to pick, whatever group, whatever fish, whatever animal, you could just pick that variant, and then all of a sudden you're going to add a whole bunch to it. No, I think this thing is with us forever. It's as long as somebody can gain advantage by having this virus, I guarantee you it's going to be on the air every single week. And when you turn on the television, everybody that is on the television screen gets paid by somebody that puts them on the television screen. So their goal is to have as many people, just like in the food business or they're in a business, they're attracting customers, and they want to dangle something out there that is going to be so attractive, it's going to attract. It's like bait in the water. It's like sharks. They want to attract as many sharks as they can to their station. So how do you do that? Well, you don't do it with popcorn. I mean, you got to have something big and powerful and impactful. Maybe people die. Maybe they don't die. I don't know. But that's what we're seeing now. Every time you turn on the television, look out. The boogeyman's coming, and he's going to.
So just for the record, I was in the news business. I don't watch TV. I literally don't watch TV. How I manage what's going on is I talk to people on the street, because when I was a reporter, I talked to people on the street, and that's how I got the real scoop. And so I don't even watch television. In fact, yesterday, somebody texted me like at 6 a.m, because I'm up early, and they were like, oh, you guys are wearing masks in LA. And I'm like, what are you talking about? We're not wearing masks. And they're like, haven't you seen the news articles? And I'm like, no, I don't watch the news. I just don't watch the news. I said, I live my life just being me. But now it's serious. Like, again, now I got to wear a mask.
You know what? This is like, do as I say, not as I do. Think about all the people that we can think of right now. There's no need to mention their names, that were out there broadcasting what they thought our behavior should be. And then all of a sudden, the hidden camera comes on somewhere and we catch them doing exactly what they told us not to do.
I know, it's so horrible.
That's the story of our country right now.
It's so funny because I have friends that send me so much stuff because they know I don't watch the news. And so they send me stuff and I'm always shocked. I'm like, wow, where did you find this? They're like, Megan, it's like reality. It's out there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so horrible. My friend, who eventually will be running for mayor of Houston, he sent me a picture of a whole bunch of, I don't even know, because it doesn't matter to me, but politicians on a plane with no masks. And then another picture of normal people like me and you on a plane wearing masks. And I was like, where do you find this stuff? Like, seriously. And he's like, it's reality, Megan. You're just not watching it. You're just so focused on what you're doing. But it's sad. It's just sad is all I can say.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think a lot of people have been hurt by it. And, having been in the retail business myself, selling food, it's funny how it changes. It changes from maybe not having enough sales to keep your business open to suddenly now you have the sales, but you don't have any employees. There's nobody showing up. Really, if this was ever a statement for going the next step mechanically to make sure that you could cover everything. In other words, whatever person was working in your business, it seems like this virus is now a tremendous motivation to go ahead and see how you could replace that employee with something that's mechanical that can be turned on and turned off. He's not going to be late. He's going to show up every day. He's going to have the lights on and make some noise and move some arms or whatever, but he's going to be able to do what your employees did before you. And
but isn't that like, we all know that's the way of the future, but isn't that sad?
Well, it was on the Jetsons, right? I mean,
I know the Jetsons
base everything on.
The Jetsons are coming true. The Jetsons are coming true. Yeah, whoever created the Jetsons, I don't even know who it was, but whoever did, like, how did they even know? Because it's coming true.
Wouldn't it be funny if on the Jetsons, someone would have been that creative, years ago to say, hey, let's throw a virus into one of these episodes. See what happens. You know what? Robots aren't going to contaminate you. So, they would be in great shape. I mean, the Jetsons say, bring it on, man. Any virus you got, bring it on. If it doesn't require personal contact, we don't have to touch. We don't have to do anything. We could just think thoughts or, move our mouth and it can interpret what we're saying. So I think that's where we are right now. And, I feel bad because I really, people accuse me of being a vicious player on the football field, but I'm really a nice person. And I really enjoy talking and interacting with people. But if there's anything that right now that most people that are on television are trying to promote is that none of us like each other. Husbands do not like wives. Children do not like their parents. Parents don't like the children. You don't like your neighbor. You go right down the line, then it gets into, where you came from, what country you came from, what you drive. I mean, right now it's like we thought of every single thing that we can have that we can throw up against the person living next door. He's not the right color. He doesn't drive the right car. His house doesn't look good. He doesn't decorate it right. We right now are in a tremendous search, most people in our country, for divisiveness. And I just think back with the days that I was on football teams. Wow, it was amazing. It's like you walk into that place and it is a brotherhood, a family like you can't imagine. And whoever is in that building and on that team, regardless of their number, position, or whatever, you are going to literally lay down your life for them. And I really miss those days. It doesn't matter. It was just thinking back, that's what made it so enjoyable. I mean, not only were you, in front of people playing and you weren't making very much money at that time, but the fact that you were on a team and a family, wow, it was so powerful. And that's why I think even those friendships last even to this day, Megan. I can call those guys, And when I get done hanging up, I don't care who it is, what player I played with. It's like, oh man, it's like this energy that you have inside you. It's like a family. It is family. And
Yeah, no, I understand. You know, it's really interesting. I'm going to use this as an example because family comes in. So football, professional leagues, all that kind of stuff. But then the military is the other one because, you know, my
yes,
kid's dad was in the military and an officer and flew helicopters. And I understood that camaraderie. And I still to this day talk to all of the women that I was with when I was a military wife. But my uncle, my great uncle was in the military, and he was in the military only for like 2 years. But when he passed away, the biggest thing was the fact that he was in the military for 2 years out of his 88 years of living. It was the most important 2 years of his life because it was family. It was a community. It was people that loved him. And I found it really interesting. And when he passed away, I was in my 30s. And I remember thinking to myself, that is so powerful, the power of community.
You know, it's funny. My neighbors just went to Hawaii, and they went over there with some friends. It was, you know, a lady and her daughter, and you know, so those two went over to Hawaii, and you're thinking, okay, what are we going to do and all that? And so they came back eventually, and I there were some other people over there and things, friends of theirs, and I said, well, how was your trip? I mean, how did it go? And they go, well, you know, it was okay. The ride over was okay, but they kept talking about the people that they were with and just the associations and be able to enjoy that with somebody else. They didn't tell me about the weather. They didn't tell me about the waves coming in. They didn't tell me about the mountains or the lava flowing down the hill or whatever it was over there. It was all about the people that they were with. And I'm thinking, this is amazing because that's why this whole virus thing and all lockdown and mask and all that, that's why I think it's so detrimental, because life is about enjoying it with each other, your family, your friends. And I don't really care where you go. So you go to Hawaii. Let's just imagine it's 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago or whatever. Nobody even lives on the island. Would you be having a good time in Hawaii with nobody there? I mean, just walking up and down the white sand and looking at the lava flowing down into the ocean. No, you wouldn't have a great time. It's all about experiences and relationships. And that's why when I see all this nonsense happening on television, I just think, you know, they're really hitting right at the crux of what life is all about. You ask somebody what great memories are. Oh, I can't remember. I went and saw that mountain. Oh, it was great. And there was snow on top of it. I remember that. No, nobody ever says that. Or, oh, that river was flowing so well. I just really enjoyed looking at that river go down, you know, down the river. Or the ocean, whatever it is, people's memories are about people, and it's
100%.
associations. And
Oh, and you said it the best. You said it the best. One person can change your life.
yes, I mean that's, you know, I see people sometimes, you know, okay, they're talking to you for like 2 or 3 minutes, but when they're talking to you, Megan, they're like doing like, you know, scoping the whole room. They're going like this. You know, they're like a traffic cop at the intersection, looking left, looking right, looking behind them. You know, what are you doing? Well, they're looking for somebody else to come in the room to talk to. You know, basically saying to you, hey, listen, you're not worth even talking to. I'm scoping out everybody else in here because I want to go talk to somebody else. And so the reality is, you know, we talked about this a little bit beforehand. I think about my life, and you know what? It wasn't about having 5 or 10 or 50 people make a difference. It was like one person impacted my ability to make a decision or go somewhere or do something. That you only need one really reliable person that's going to give you good advice and steer you in the right direction. Now the challenge is, where is that person? You know, who is he? You know what? He might be anywhere. That's why I really enjoy finding out some stories about people, you know, what they're doing, where they came from, where they're going, what their views are, because that might be the person that you need that just get you over the top. I'm not talking about for the weekend. I'm talking about for life, put you in a direction. Start your mental process thinking about things differently than you normally did. I look at people that are not successful. They have stinking thinking. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Yeah, I have. I totally have.
Constantly thinking about negativity. And I promise you, you're never, ever going to get anywhere, thinking about one negative on top of another negative on top of another negative. Those are not stepping stones to success. And now I think it's okay to fail and not maybe succeed at a time, but then looking at that and saying, what did I do wrong? How could I do it differently? I think anybody, taking tests, we were just talking about taking tests here a little bit earlier. And I like to get to the point where when you study the material so much, especially in terms of taking a test, and you might have to take it multiple times, which is a lot of true in terms of getting licensed, like your driver's license. How many people out there have flunked their driver's license 5 times, 10 times? I don't know. I've been a passenger in some cars that people running over curbs, sidewalks. I'm going, hey, listen, I don't know how you got your license, but something was wrong. That teacher that day must have had alcoholism or something, because based on your driving, I feel like I'm in danger. And so, but my point is, that you just need to keep practicing and getting better on a day in, day out basis. And, and just, stay positive. And you and I have talked about this before, so many times you try something and it doesn't work and you get all depressed. I took a license, test a few weeks ago and I missed it by one question passing it. You know what?
You missed passing it by one answer.
One answer. Now I could have gone, oh my gosh, I'm terrible. I'm pathetic. I'm terrible. Why would anybody want me? No, that motivated me. I'm going, man, I was that close without really doing very much studying or looking at any of the text. And so I just figured it out. I used it as a motivation to go back in there. I don't want to go back. I want to go back to take the test, but I don't want to go back 3 times. It's like, it's one of those situations that, you got to use everything that's happened to you in your life and use it as an example or motivation to get better.
Absolutely. 100%. Well, it's funny. My light just fell down. I'm going to grab it. But it's funny because I don't know if I ever told you this story, but when I won Mrs. Texas, the first time I lost by 1 point. And I was like, oh, they're like, no, you got to come back. And so 1 point makes a difference. That's like anything in life. 1 point makes a difference. You just got to keep going. And if it's something that you want and you have a desire for, you just don't give up. I mean, nothing happens easily. It's hard work, focus, dedication, and not giving up. I say that all the time to my kids. Just don't give up. If you know what you want, focus and run for it, because it's going to happen.
You know what's wonderful about failing and trying and all those sort of things? The things that I worked the hardest at and failed, those were the things that got me motivated more than anything else. It wasn't like I just tried something and, okay, I got the wrong answer. Oh, that doesn't matter because you didn't put any time and effort into it. It's like losing a playoff game in the NFL. I can't say Super Bowl because I was never at a Super Bowl. But you
should be at a Super Bowl.
Well, I was in a Super Bowl.
They keep that. You guys went to the Super Bowl after you left.
Yeah, you're right. But I've been to a Super Bowl, but it was in a 23rd row, seat 12, watching the Super Bowl. But you know what? Here's the way I think I thought about it too. That those memories are special because you're sharing them with somebody else. It's about, did you win or lose the game? Well, that's important. It's very important at the time. But I think, again, when time goes by and you look at something like that, okay, you were the runner-up that year in the league that you played in, but you still had a lot of successes. And now what comes into play is have it motivate you for the next season. The fact that you were right there, right there within a grasp of doing what you wanted to do, but you didn't do it. Well, it starts early. It starts in the off season. Most those football games aren't won during the season. They're won during the off season in preparation, physical training, dedication, all those sort of things. And here's the other thing too.
It's all the behind scenes work. Everything people don't realize. I mean, well, people do probably, but all of the work that you have to put in behind it, like, I'm finishing up the Soaring Summit. And when it shows up, everybody's like, oh, it's cool. It's amazing. So many comments, but do you realize, I mean, the work that goes behind the scenes with me and the crew that works with me, I'm talking hours. Last Friday night, or just last night, Friday night, I was up till 11 o'clock working on the Soaring Summit, working with my team. Like, what goes into making something successful takes time, focus, and dedication. And so I get it, but it's when you have a goal and you want to achieve something, you just stay on it and stay focused. And a friend of mine called me last night and they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, working on the Soaring Summit. They're like, seriously? And I'm like, yeah, because I need to make it spectacular. And we're editing 150 videos. We have 35 speakers. You know what I mean? Like, it's like intense. And the work behind it, it's just not me. Trust me. It's a lot of people working to make this beautiful and wonderful, to put the word out there. And it's the same thing with you in football. In order for you to perform, you worked out in the gym. You were always, you know what I mean? The dedication is amazing.
You know what it is too? I think I love doing business because I try to incorporate business into life. And if you treat your life, this is kind of cold, a little bit, callous, right or wrong, but in your life, people that are distraction, that are keeping you back from where you want to go. There's a book out there, Good to Great, that talked about getting the right people on the bus. And that's true for all of us. We need to get the right people on the bus surrounding us, that every day we get up and we talk to them or hear them, they're offering encouragement or success or ideas or associations, all those sort of things that we want to become, they already are. So my life didn't change until I started surrounding myself with different people. It's absolutely the truth. No disrespect to anybody in your family. Sometimes they haven't experienced success in business or know what that feels like. And just like you were talking before, about some of the other people that just aren't performing. I talked with a gentleman this week, was really having a hard time with his business because it's a small company, only 5 people, but 3 out of the 5 are basically saying, I'm not going to work hard. It goes back to I'm getting a paycheck, and it's in a business where they're in the 6 figures, but they're getting this mentality is learned helplessness. You know what? Everybody should feel sorry for me because I get here at 8 o'clock and I can leave at 1 or 2 in the afternoon. What are you talking about? And you're making 6 figures and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I need to get paid a lot more. No, that's not the way it works. And the one person I talked to said, Doug, I don't know what to do because they're partners. They are ownership in the business. It's one thing to have an employee that's doing that. It's another thing to have a partner that you have to rely on almost like another employee, because whatever you're doing requires the commitment and sacrifice of everybody that's involved. And I was just thinking, gosh, I mean, this world, that's why I respect people that have been successful in business, because it's not only the team concept, but then you add monetary issues to it. And now all of a sudden, it becomes a totally different animal. And you have to really be a skilled person. That's why those guys that get on those business channels and they're successful, they didn't hit oil. It's not the Beverly Hillbillies, where they shot a bullet and all of a sudden the backyard filled up with oil. No, these were guys that went out and hired and recruited and trained, and the commitment and the ideas and all those sort of things. And, that's why I have so much respect for people that don't feel sorry for themselves. They're not helpless. Things aren't going grab a mirror and look in the mirror. That's who you need to blame.
You know, it's funny. I was telling you that my 16-year-old daughter, got a job at Starbucks, and our family philosophy is don't quit your job until you get a new job. And then when you get your new job,
Yeah.
make sure the new job is successful. So
Yeah.
my 16-year-old, it's summer, obviously. So she's working at Starbucks from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. I think, yeah, 7 to 3 or 7 to 4. And then she goes to her second job for another 4 hours at a pizza place. And she's been doing that for a week. And she called me today and she's like, okay, I've been doing it for a week. I love my new Starbucks job. Do I need to keep 2 jobs? I said, well, I don't know. I said, I'm so glad you have such great work ethic. I said, but personally for me, I would just keep working because I love doing what I do. But she was like, seriously, Mom, I think I can just keep the Starbucks job.
You know what's great about that though? She's meeting people every day. Now, I'm not saying that you want to evaluate people on a visual basis, but sometimes you have to. If I met people that look like they just got out of bed in the morning, but are very, very successful, yeah. But you know what? Usually success has the appearance of success. Failure has the appearance of failure. If somebody walked into a Starbucks and I'm behind the counter serving coffees, and this person has big dark eyes under, and they come in like a hobo, pants hanging down, and you can see their underwear and everything. Do I think they're a CEO of a company? Probably not. And I'm not going to treat them any different. But my point is, I don't want to say you are who you look like. Why don't you just try to give yourself a chance initially? And my point is, if somebody walks in there, be nice to everybody. But you know what? I'm not saying that you can't have an experience like I did in my life, where you could take that meeting and change it into something totally different. I told you at the time I was, signing autographs, and I met the owner afterwards, and I was really energetic with all the customers and employees. And I was talking to him, and I just asked him some questions, really in the dining room. We're not at a table sitting or anything. We're just standing up looking at people. And I said, how did you ever get involved in this business? And he goes through this 20 minutes of, little detail to every day, and went off year by year. I'm going, oh my gosh. He goes, Doug, I can do that for you. He said, if you're interested in that, it changed my life. For 20 years, I was in the food business.
Well, I'll tell you just really quick. My daughter absolutely loves working at Starbucks. She's so excited. And so I have a 16, 17, and 18.
Right.
My 17-year-old daughter is like, I want to work there too. I mean, I got to tell you, like when she told me everything about Starbucks, it's an incredible opportunity. And so I just feel very fortunate that she's working there, and she loves, loves, loves it. And listen to this. Every day, I just got to see this because it's so amazing to me that I personally am not like someone that goes to get coffee at Starbucks. I drink coffee at my house in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But
yes,
I drink coffee at my house.
I drink coffee everywhere. In my house, Starbucks, everywhere I go.
Yeah, but listen, so because of COVID, until September, she gets a free drink every day, whether she's working or not. This goes back to you. This is why I'm telling you this, because from Burger King. And she gets free food every day. So literally, my daughter can go to any Starbucks and get a coffee, a drink, and something to eat every single day for free. That's incredible for employees. That's what you used to do at Burger King.
Absolutely. You know what?
You were ahead of your time. You were so ahead of your time.
Yeah, it makes such a difference. And here's my point. Let's just say that there was no coffee exchanged or whatever. The person just walked in there. How much would you pay? I promise you, the people that go into Starbucks, you're going to run into people that are business owners, people that are independently wealthy. Now, would it be better for you to act like you're glad to see them and you're the model employee? Yes, hi, thank you for coming and blah, blah. Do you think if that person ever, whatever they did, the customer needed someone friendly, funny, dressed well, in their uniform or whatever, neat, that they wouldn't think of you? Because you know why? You're having conversations with them all the time. You're always saying hi, hey, good to see you again. Take care, see you tomorrow or whatever. Wouldn't it be better? I mean, people in other countries, India, Africa, they would pay money to come in there and do the job that you're doing just to meet people. Now, all these seminars that are given across the country, hey, listen, you got to do this. You got to be forward. You got to be, tell people how you feel. That's working at Starbucks. That job is, you should be paying them. But they are allowing you to be introduced to people that literally are successful.
And consistent. And like you're going to, I told my daughter, you're going to build relationships because Starbucks fans are daily fans. You know what I'm saying? Like you build a relationship with people that you meet and you work and make coffee for. And I'm just so excited. I'm so excited for her.
Well, just think about how many people did we say you needed to be in touch with to have success? One person. That's it. One person. And it changes your life. And those people that come in there, I mean, just if you stood outside of Starbucks every day and saw the people coming in or driving through or whatever, those individuals I want to be around. I'm sorry. I think the success and failure ratio of that clientele is way beyond 50% for success, way beyond. Now, could a bum come in there after he scraped, a couple of quarters off the sidewalk? Yeah, that could happen, and he doesn't have any clothing but just like you're saying right then, their company has respect for their employees.
100%.
If I was going and working in a Starbucks, I don't care who you are, I wouldn't feel disrespected.
No, it's like an amazing organization. I mean, like I said, I'm just so impressed because my daughter gives me the play every day, and I'm just so impressed. They're truly incredible. And like I said, I'm not somebody that goes to Starbucks every day. I've been learning from my daughter, and like I'm just so impressed. So.
See, when I was working on that garbage truck, I was thinking about working at Starbucks. Well, Starbucks wasn't around then, but I
was just going to say there was no Starbucks.
I was thinking about future Starbucks. and you're meeting people that are way above your pay grade. And but you know what? We all start at the very bottom. Everybody's the lowest pay grade, and we work our way up. And wouldn't it be great though to be having someone maybe give you a break and say, wow, I'd like to hire you. Or, I mean, I know that's not very generic, hiring somebody away right there at the location, but
building a relationship.
And you could say, that'll never happen. People would never do that. Oh yeah, they do it. Oh yeah, there's relationships that happen in food businesses between working individuals and customers. You bet there are. And some that, really manifest themselves into something that's awesome, and like I said, you only need one break to really make a difference in your life. And
one person, like we always say, one person.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if you're like 68 or 70, like I am, maybe you wouldn't be thinking, okay, this person's going to change my life for the next, you better hurry up and change it because I'm running out of days or years.
Well, okay. So let's just say really quick, I want to say to all our listeners and viewers, if you want to get in touch with Doug and I and ask us questions for us to talk about on the podcast, because we never really talk about this because you and I are very open, Doug, and we're really nice. So if you guys want to ask us questions, Doug's on the road speaking and doing all of his stuff. But if you want to ask questions, you can email me or just go to our website, put in the contact information, and Doug and I will always answer all of your questions. If you just go to sandspodcast.com, you can find us there, and we will always communicate with you, because if you guys have questions and want to talk and ask Doug something specifically, we'd love to hear from you. And because Doug and I, we're friends. We love talking, we love visiting, but we can talk for hours just between the two of us. But if you guys have something you want to ask Doug specifically, let us know, because we're here to be a positive voice and be a positive experience for everybody. That's why we do this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I can tell stories. I'm not Tom Brady. I didn't win a Super Bowl. I didn't go to Michigan either, thank God. Uh, because you know what? When we played, I met Tom Brady before a game down in Tennessee. They were getting ready to play the Titans back when he was playing for the Patriots. And like I told you before, he never gets a second off. So I'm down on the field, and I just shook his hand, and he actually walked up to me. I didn't walk up to him. And we started talking. And I said, I played in the league years ago. I went to Ohio State. He goes, why did you go to Ohio State? I said, well, I went to Ohio State because in my time, freshmen weren't eligible to play at that time. That tells you how old it was, like in the 70s. But we went to the Rose Bowl three years in a row, and Michigan didn't. And I said, if you're asking me why I didn't go to Michigan, that's enough. I got drafted in the National Football League. I got a chance to play for Chicago Bears. His story is an amazing one, though. I mean, to be drafted in the 6th round and to do what he's done and change, if some person can go into an organization that has all these people on the team, 40, 50, 60 people, and 25, 30 coaches, whatever, front office, you name it. What was our rule? One person can make a difference. You go look at Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year, one person made a difference. His guidance, his encouragement, enthusiasm. Okay, maybe you're not in the NFL. Maybe you'll never be in the NFL. Can't you do that in your house, at your place of business, wherever you work with your friends? And if you feel like you're frustrated and you need to get on like a rocket pad and take off, then you've got to change your surroundings. You have to be around people that are going to allow you to take off and become somebody else. That's all I'm saying. Whether you grow up in a little small town in America and it's okay that people are awesome, great apple pies and all that kind of stuff. Listen, if you want to really do something with your life and achieve something in business or just personally, sometimes you have to leave and you have to go out into that cruel world and you have to find some other partners that are going to help you get through this. And that's why I say, don't ever look at any day as a bad day, because it may magically be the one day in your life that's going to completely flip everything around. Not just your opportunities, but your mindset, most importantly.
Well, I'm always so excited to see you on Saturdays. I love doing our podcast together because I love talking to you. And we'll get back here next Saturday. And so, like I said, to everybody who's watching and listening, send us questions. Doug and I love to hear from you. And we're so thankful that you're watching and you're listening. We're really thankful for it. So just let us know questions that you have specifically, and we're always here. And then Doug, I'll just see you next week. And I can't wait to see you in August. I'm going to say this every week because I'm going to be so excited to see you and Nancy in August.
No, I'm looking for it. Every day, if you don't have anything to look forward to, what is life worth? You know what I'm saying? It's almost like in this virus, it was Groundhog's Day. Every day was the same. So I think that's what got people down more than anything else. There was no Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever. No, you couldn't do anything. You were in this little capsule, like going through space. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a space traveler. No connections, no interactions. You're just in a little capsule. I feel bad for people that have lived that kind of a life, where they just stayed in a little capsule and never really reached out to anybody.
Well, we'll be back here next Saturday live. Oh, but actually this is great news. Next week, we're just do live on YouTube, but next week we're going to be live on all our platforms because we've been growing and working and building together, you and I. But now next week, we're going to be live everywhere, which will be fun.
Sounds good. I can't wait. See you then.
Okay. Bye, hon.
Bye.
Have a great Saturday.